We were sojourners in an unknown land, started Abraham. When I wanted to find a bride for my son Isaac, I did not seek a wise girl from the people among whom I was sojourning. Instead, I risked the life of my favorite servant Eliezer and sent him on a long journey to find a girl from my community called the Arameans. Frankly speaking, my folks were no better, but still, I did not want my son to marry an outsider. From among my relatives, Eliezer found a beautiful young virgin called Rebecca. However, it was unfortunate that there were several issues in that proposal. Rebecca was 20 years old, but Isaac was 40 years old. Actually, we tried to find a beautiful virgin closer to his age. As you know very well, it is almost impossible for a good-looking girl to remain as a virgin for that long. That's why, when God decided to be born in the world, He did not choose a beautiful virgin. To say it bluntly, He chose an ugly duckling called Mary. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to call anyone ugly. God feels bad if I use that word to describe His creation. I'm supposed to use the phrase differently beautiful. But if I use that phrase, you may not understand what I am talking about. That's why I refer to her with the you word. My point is, since Mary was differently beautiful, it was easy for her to keep her virginity until the appointed time. Some say that she even continued as a celibate for the rest of her life. If she was an attractive woman, the world would have finished her physical purity in just no time. Trust me, I am talking from my painful experience. When I fell in love with my beautiful half-sister Sarah, I did not wait for her to grow up. I married her when she was in her early teens. If I had delayed a little longer, I might not have married her as a virgin. Who knows, she might not have accepted my proposal in the first place. Well, that's a topic for another day. I got married and lived happily ever after. Even after our union as husband and wife, Sarah was harassed by several men. She was also not spared by some women in our neighborhood. It seemed to me that the whole society wanted a piece of her. She was kidnapped twice by powerful men. Always my life was in danger because of her attractiveness. If God had not stood on our side, my whole family would have been torn into pieces. Physical beauty is a multi-edged sword. It can hurt anyone, including those who are not at all in the picture. Unlike my wife, Mary had it easy in her life. She was neither beautiful in form nor lovely to look at. No one preferred her for anything, but God chose her. That's why she sang with a grateful heart, "For God has regarded the low estate of His handmaiden. For behold, from henceforth all generations shall call me blessed." Let me tell you, Mary is such a good songwriter and singer. Her song called the Magnificat is one of the greatest songs of all time. She may not be physically attractive, but she is a rock star in heaven. We all love her so much. She shares a special intimacy with our Lord. They always whisper to each other and giggle uncontrollably. When they are together, they are in their own heaven. I wish I had that kind of a relationship with the King of Kings. Indeed, Mary is blessed among both men and women. Anyways, back to my son's story. It was not just the age difference of 2 decades. Isaac was Rebecca's paternal uncle. Can it get more awkward than that? Since we took enormous risk and pain in finding Rebecca, we did not want to leave her. We made that poor girl to marry her old uncle. We were wealthy and therefore she also did not make it an issue. But our society did not spare us. It spoke ill of all of us. Similar reproach, pain, or awkwardness waits for many who search marriage alliance in their class or community. If they step down and move outside their circle, they could easily find excellent proposals right under their nose. Since I was not broad-minded, my son married someone of the same age as his niece. They worked hard to overcome their differences, but something was always lacking. It may be because of my desire to homogenize my generation. The bond between Isaac and Rebekah was not strong enough. Or to put it plainly, since they were from the same community, their relationship was not strong enough. Though they were happy during the initial stages of their marriage, they couldn't continue that passion for long. My son got depressed, started overeating, and turned out to be a glutton. My daughter-in-law took advantage of that and tricked him to get blessings for her favorite son Jacob. No wonder my grandson Jacob also became a trickster like his mother Rebekah. Since Isaac couldn't bless his firstborn son Esau, his heart got shattered. That resulted in a broken marriage and a scattered family. I was narrow-minded, but my son's family paid the cost. I became a bad example, but by the grace of God, my great-grandson Joseph was not like me. He was open to marrying an Egyptian. From my generation, Salmon, the son of Nahshon, was not particular about marrying a virgin. He married a prostitute named Rahab. Though she was a Canaanite woman from Jericho, she showed extraordinary faith in the God of Israel. Many want to marry a believer, but how many of them are open to accept a believer who was a prostitute? Rahab's son Boaz was also a broad-minded man. He was not particular about marrying a girl from his community. He married an outsider named Ruth. She was a poor widow from an unclean race called the Moabites. But that woman was a precious pearl. She was the great-grandmother of King David. She took him under her wings and taught poetry and wisdom when he was growing up. She is the woman behind the greatest king ever lived. Even now, they both share a special bond with each other. Instead of following these good examples, millions of people in every generation follow my bad example. They justify their wicked actions by saying, Abraham took a girl for his son from his community. Therefore, we can also continue the tradition. Thus, in my name, they perpetuate an evil custom. I have become a bad example for many.